Sonic Adventure was a huge game for the series. It was the first really big 3D game in the franchise. It changed the way the stories could be told, as we now had a cool multi-character option. Each character had their own separate story that all, when you combine them, interwove together. While it wasn't new that you could play as other characters, you were now allowed to play as other characters besides Sonic the Hedgehog. In now a free roam capacity, you were allowed to go into this hub world and explore. You could go to Station Square, Mystic Ruins, you could go to the Egg Carrier. You had all these places you could explore as these different characters. And going back to characters, there were more characters added. We can now finally play as Amy Rose in Sonic. We added 2 new characters as well as E102 Gamma and Big the Cat. We don't talk about the Big the Cat one though, because we don't talk about the Big the Cat one. It added voice acting to the series, and even though the voice acting does get questionable at times, it is still, it's nice to have voices for the characters. We have lore that was added to the series that, to this day, is still talked about and is still even expanded upon. When you look at something like Sonic Frontiers, so that expands upon Chaos. But what also was added that doesn't get talked about as much by, I guess you could say, the franchise in the, I guess, lore aspect, but more so talked about by fans, is this guy. This robot right here. Now, when you enter Eggman's egg carrier, in a section you can find Metal Sonic in a tube. It's a nice Easter egg, being like, hey, there's our guy. It's a nice thing from Sega. We haven't forgotten about him. It's a nice Easter egg. But in another tube is this robot. This very silver, more industrial-looking robot. He's not as well put together as Metal Sonic. He looks like you can very much tell he's put together by, I don't want to say scrap-wise. Like, he looks like, cobbled together with bits and parts, but he's not as sleek. Now, if we look at him, he's got a nice visor right there, probably to scan. You can see the bolts and screws all over this guy. Unlike many of the things that were introduced in Sonic Adventure, this guy doesn't come back. We never see him ever again in any games following this. And there's no reason why. There's no real reason as to why this guy never showed up. The reason lore-wise could be, he was just an in-progress robot, and Eggman just kind of gave up on the guy because he realized he didn't really need another Sonic robot. He still has Metal Sonic. The IRL reason, he might have just been a cool design idea and they just wanted to add him in there, and wasn't much to it other than that. They just thought he was a cool idea, and that was that. And that's all we can say about this guy. He doesn't show up ever again in any future games. I don't think he even shows up in any of the mobile games as like a skin or anything. He's just never seen ever again. Now, while he did not appear in any games, he made appearances in the comic books. The Archie comics brought him in. In issue 85, he was brought in after their adaptation of Sonic Adventure, and he had an entire issue pretty much dedicated to him, and he was given a name in that issue, Silver Sonic 2. Now, he didn't end up doing much. He just fought Sonic for a bit and was pretty quickly defeated, and was reprogrammed to protect Station Square, and this was done so that way Archie had an excuse as to why Eggman doesn't conquer Station Square and why we don't come back here. The Silver Sonic 2's taking care of it. And while it was just one issue, it was nice that the Archie team did anything with him at all. You know, they must have been very much like us. They saw this robot and went, ooh, interesting. And then when he never showed up again, kind of were disappointed. So they just decided that why not have an issue dedicated to him? Which was very nice. And it is nice that they picked up on it like we did. They even gave us a bit of an insight into what this guy could have been. We can see in the issue that his arms kind of extend, kind of like right there, you can see. And they gave him a bit of a personality as well. It's not much of one. It's mainly just a more jerky version of Sonic, because he pretty much copies Sonic's one-liners and all that. He speaks very much like Sonic, which is something Archie did with a lot of their robots, is just make them Sonic clones, which technically they are. And while that's it, he shows up in issue 85. He does show up again in the beginning of their Sonic Adventure 2 adaptation. He shows up to stop Shadow from getting the green Chaos Emerald, and is very quickly destroyed, and that's it, never seen again. He is gone completely after that. So, while he might not have lasted too long in Archie as well, at least we got an issue with him and a brief little cameo at the beginning of SA2. But even then, that's it. This robot, Silver Sonic 2, never shows up again. Not in the Archie comics, not in the games, never again. And I think that is a shame. I think this robot, he could have had potential, but he just was not used. Again, who knows why they never used this robot ever again, but that I just wanted to make a video talking about this nice anomaly that is talked about by fans a lot. Of course, us fans, we pick up on this sort of thing. So I just wanted to discuss this robot just for a bit in a video.